Squad! What's up, y'all? It's your boy AI, the animated intellectual, back again to talk about the Owl House. Boy, we're here talking about episode 6. This episode has got to be one of the most detail-heavy episodes I think that we've gotten in the entire series, right? Super heavily detailed for the world, the background of the world, like the background of the world, how the world currently works, and how things could be going on in the future, character-wise, power scaling-wise, relationship-wise. So much happened in this episode. Episode 6, like I put this episode 3 or 4 where we learn about King's father, the episode where we first meet the Emperor, and the episode where Luz realizes that glyphs and everything come from nature. This episode was freaking bananas. So let's get down to it. So we start off, my goodness, seeing the coven heads from each of the covens, right? Yo, these coven heads look like anime characters, bro. They popped out here looking all sorts of finessed, all sorts of beautiful. And the camera angles was just like, yeah, what's up? This was beautiful. And that black man, that dark-skinned man, whoever, from, that's the head of the Abomination Coven, you see how the hair was moving? That's moisturized. It's moisturized. You know what it is. You know, that's that kinky curly. That's that Miel. Oh my goodness. It's so moisturized that it literally moves like liquid. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. The writers of the show, they knew what they was doing when they did that for that dark-skinned man. I love to see it. Love to see it. So now, again, the Emperor is talking about, okay, we're about to do our thing. They put their whatever in the spiral thing, talking about the Day of Unity. Again, the Owl House is basically Full Metal Alchemist. Basically like, I will have a whole entire video on that, but it was an eclipse with the type. It's Full Metal Alchemist. Beautiful. So now, then Emperor Bello started having his problems, and then the Golden Guard, well, we learn his name is Hunter now. The Golden Guard takes him to the room. They start talking, yada yada. And, we find out that he was cursed by wild magic. So, I have a theory, right? I think that, well, a whole bunch of things. But starting it off now, the Emperor was cursed by wild magic. So, wild magic is the only thing that will be able to fix him. Which is why he can only be sustained by wild magic. Which is why he eats the talismans. And, yeah, it's hard to find. Obviously, the talisman trees been harvested. But he was cursed by wild magic because he was a little too much of a tryhard when it comes to something that he was trying to do. And I'll explain what I think that something is later in the video. And yeah, so now he's cursed by it, so it's what sustains him, but it's what can fix him also. So really, really cool. So yeah, he feeds on Palistrom wood, and because we know that the 4 primordial or primal magics in the world are light, ice, fire, and plant. Plants are really, by the nature of plants and all that, life runs through them, things grow from them, yada yada. Yada yada varies from Star vs. the Forces of Evil. All that good stuff. But plants, wood, nature, things of that sort, I think they're the most abundant type of primordial magic. Because you can't really eat light and extract, it's not tangible like that. You can't eat light like that. Same with fire. You can't just eat it like that, for what it has contained in it. Ice, you could make a debate about that. That's potentially there. And then freaking plants, but plants are just plants. You feel me? I'm just adjusting the light really quick. Plants are plants. So the nature of plants is to have life and the essence of whatnot in them, because things feed off of them, flowers bloom from them. So I think that's why the wood itself is so instrumental, because, it's wood, it's plants, and, opens there. So that's just one theory, not the one I was talking about, but we'll get there. So now, the next thing, the freaking Goldie, sorry, I just lowered myself there, the freaking Golden Guard. Did he say uncle? He said uncle. They're related. Boy. That's crazy. Didn't see that coming, but plot thickens, adds a whole lot to the thing. And yeah, it adds to the theory that I'm going to be talking about later. A little bit, cuz from like I said last video, whether the Golden Guard falls for loser Amity or Amity or Luz falls for the Golden Guard. Now that, and something with the season finale where he won't know whether to go with them or go against the Emperor. Now that makes it all the more interesting because him and the Emperor are related. They're family. Bro, these writers are really good at sowing the seeds. So yeah. Goodness gracious. Oh man, there's just so many things. I'm looking at my notes right here. But again, and this is just the beginning of the episode. The beginning of the episode. Like, that was, wild. So, going through, we're seeing that it's time for everyone to choose their palismans, and this, that, and the third. And, yeah. Family is related to... So, yeah, they're trying to choose the palismans. Wow, I went on a huge gambit. But anyway, what I love about the show, we saw the intro, right? It is what it is. We saw the intro. And now we see that Amity's hair is purple now with the new necklace. Like, they didn't waste time. They went from episode to episode. Usually when it comes to changing introductions like that, when a character has some kind of character change, they wait a season later or something. But they do that too. And I also noticed they did it with Ida. Ida has a new dress, the one that, like, she ripped from whichever episode, I think the 4th episode, Keeping Up Appearances, and said, ooh, mama like, which, ooh, Ida, don't talk to me like that. Ida. Anyway, yeah. I love her so much. So, these writers, I love the attention to detail. Who these writers? Like, come on. This is beautiful. So now, they're talking about the palismans, and I like the fact that they turned it into a rescue animal thing. Kind of like, in real life, it's better / more advantageous. Just kind of better all around if you're getting a pet to get a rescue pet as opposed to like a purebred, whatever, because there's a lot of animals that need homes and all different ages, all different types. So go to a rescue, it helps keeping the homes clear and, make a new furry friend. And yeah, so they did that with the Palismans and the Bat Queen, again, tying back to the first season. And I still want to know who she was a palisman for. Did they used to call them palismans in the first season, or were they called like turnkeys? I gotta think, but either way, really cool. And seeing the principal, his palisman was his thing. And it's like, the principal really got that Brazilian wavy 38-inch weave. Principal Bump, his bundles are crazy. His hair is silky. He takes care of it. He keeps it moisturized too. I love it. I love it. So, and that we see that, he's blind in one eye, so his palisman helps him see, it adds another degree of utility to palismans. It's not just the ability to fly or helping them out with, creating circles for that. There's practical uses, which is also awesome. And yeah, these palismans, well, before that, we haven't seen a hair reveal like that since Finn from Adventure Time. I'll put that right here.
Well then, check this out! Ha-ha!
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So, these palismans are really adorable. Really adorable. And I kind of like how, for the most part, the palismans were corresponding to the type of students. So Willow got her palisman was a bee because she, she cares about the plants and everything, and bees pollinate, so they help with the plants. Gus, he got a chameleon because chameleons, they change shape and their form and all this whatnot, even though they're the same thing. So that corresponds to illusions. That one girl, she wanted to help like the mythical creatures or something like that, and she got what appears to be some kind of like hippogriff, mythical creature type thing. And that one lazy dude, he's like, I just want to graduate, so he got a sloth because sloths are lazy. The attention to detail, superb. I love you guys, the writers. I love you. I love you so much. So yeah, and then Luz got nothing. And this is going to be its own video, but wow, it's just, they're really pressing Luz and asking her the hard questions. Like, fam, why do you want to be a witch? You want to be a witch just to be a witch's sake? That's not enough. You need some type of conviction. And Gus asking her, well, are you going to use magic after you get back to the human realm? Like, what are you trying to become a witch for? Everyone was asking questions, from Ida to the Bat Queen to the principal, and it's just, wow, you really didn't think this through. Just having magic to have it isn't enough. You're not going to get anywhere without a strong enough purpose, reason, or conviction. So that's like, wow, even I didn't think about it that way. I thought Luz was just going to have magic for the sake of having magic. But seeing everyone else, all the other students, have their strong convictions or purpose to what they're going to use their magic for, instead of just having magic to have it, it's, whew. I can see the hero's journey, whatever, starting to build in Luz. They're leading to that. It's not just, they're shying away from just being a kid and just living every day by the seed of whatever. Same thing that Star went through, that Steven went through, that Kipo went through. It's all, wow, this is just great. So again, this is going to be its whole entire own video. So, and this goes back to, all right, so now, fast forward a lot, things happen. The Emperor wants some Palanquin, some Palostrums. Luz goes to return the little rascal one. And then we see that, she stays there, ambushed by the Golden Guard, picked up. They're hit by the dragon, and then they crash land down, right? And now we see, okay, Kikimora have been plotting. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? So you never ever let me stop. So Kikimora's plotting. She obviously don't like the Golden Guard because he has more favor with the Emperor, it's his uncle. And then we see that his mask is off. She fed it to the dragon, right? And then Luz is, oh snap, we about to see what the Golden Guard looks like. And then we see him. It's like, knew it was a pretty boy. And then, man. And then Luz is just like, yo, he looks like he could be a student at Hexside, which, there's a little TikTok nonsense that's going on my channel. Yeah, he could be a student at Hexside. Yes, he could. He's in their age range. And Luz said that she's trying to get close to some upperclassmen. So, whatever. Yes, oh my goodness. So, that was really clutch. So, we see him. He's mad. She slaps him to wake him up. That was hilarious. And, yeah, that was really clutch. And, they're arguing. He licks her hand. So, their dynamic is being set up. This is really cool. They look like they could become friends. Maybe not love interests, but friends still, or something. I still think it would be stronger if it was a love interest, but power friendship works just as well too. Who knows? Anything could happen. Yeah, so now they're traveling through Bonesboro. Not Bonesboro, this new place, and we see it's a lot more rougher and tougher. And then we see that the Emperor's Coven guards, they really don't recognize the Golden Guard unless he's in his garb. Like, they don't know he's a kid. They don't know anything about him. And then, Luz takes the staff and, escaping him, this, that, and the third. And then she climbs to the top of the building. It's just like, yo, are you powerless without this? Yes. The golden, like, what? That's crazy. But who needs magic when you got parkour? Like, he scaled that building superbly. Absolutely. As someone who does parkour, beautiful, beautiful. So now, Haha. They see the dragon that attacked them and belongs to Kikimora, and they come to a truce and like, all right, let's take care of them. And now this again, another super duper important deal. Luz drew the glyphs for the fire and all this whatnot. He got the sleeping nettles or what they're called, and they was talking about how, fire and ice to make the mist, and he's like, combined with the sleeping nettles, you'll create a powerful sleeping powder, whatever. And Luz was just like, huh? What are you how did you able to get that? And he said this, they talked about the book From Bones to whatever it was called, and how a study of wild magic, and how he was getting excited talking about, oh, this is like the wild magic from the previous ages. It's not a lot of people know this, but and then he stopped. It's like, bro, why'd you stop talking? Keep talking. We want to know. But it's like, it's cool. These are just little secrets that we're getting, little things. And then then the hunter opens up and said, he is a powerless witch. And here is my theory that I was talking about. Here's the theory. I think that he said he's a powerless witch and most of his family is. So here's the theory that I think. Hunter, Emperor Belos and them, they're related to Philip Wittebane, the first human to ever come to the Boiling Isles. He obviously doesn't have magic inside. Like he's not from the Boiling Isles. I think that Philip Wittebane lived and maybe even died on the Boiling Isles, but he had a family, a wife or someone he procreated with, and they, started a lineage on the Boiling Isles. But because Philip Wittebane, is human and had no magic, that gene passed into his family, right? So that's why, even though they're witches, they're powerless. And that's where it comes from. That's what I believe. So going down, he said most of his family is, so that means most of the emperor and their family is, they're powerless witches. So including Emperor Belos, right? Here's what I think it is. Because they're powerless, they wanted to try to gain some power. I think Emperor Belos specifically was just like, no, he had some kind of inferiority complex where he didn't want to be, he wanted to be like everyone else and be able to have magic and just use it, this, that, and the third. So I think Emperor Belos, in his hubris, tried experimenting with wild magic somehow, whether it's to drain the essence of all wild magic into him or put it into himself to be able to, so that's how he has magic. Because remember, Lilith was saying how the people of the Boiling Isles, they have magic in them. They contain it, but the glyphs command it like words. So I think he was using glyphs and other wild magic. If he can somehow drain or put the entire spectrum of primordial wild magic, so plants, light, fire, ice, into his body, then that'll be able to let him use magic by just drawing circles as opposed to drawing glyphs like everyone else. That's the theory, right? Now, due to that, his hubris, he didn't really understand it and he was trying to use it for a power grab. He was cursed and became the thing that we saw him become. And because of that curse, because he was afflicted by wild magic, that's why he's so weary of it and wanted it banned and all this other stuff. But at the same time, he needs to feed on wild magic to stay alive. Because the very thing that cursed him is what he needs to sustain him. Bro. I'm too good, bro. I'm too good. Like, what? I could be wrong. But still, like, I'm too good. What? So that's what I think it is. But again, Luz and Hunter, they're finding common ground. They're becoming closer in some form or fashion. You can't deny that. So then happens, they're fighting Kikimora, and then, Luz gets the thing, and then we see Hunter holding the staff, about to blast her with something, and he's just like, oh, I still have a job to do. But even then, again, the seeds of, then Kikimora starts blasting, and he decides to fight her off and let Luz escape with the Palstroms. But again, the seeds are being laid. this type of situation that we just saw is going to happen again later in the season or the series on a grander scale. Whether Luz and the Golden Guard become friends or they start to develop romantic feelings, something, whatever, it's going to reach a point where, dang, I don't know whether if I jive with them, whether I should help them, or do I betray the Emperor? There's going to be some kind of confliction there from one of the parties that's going to result in something awesome. Yo, fantastic. And then episode ends, they go their separate ways. Kikimora kind of starts to realize that it was probably Hunter who she fought because he saw the burn tipped of his hair. Ida finds Palistrom wood with with King and gave it to Luz. And, you know, there. And then in the end, which in Hunter's room, we see a lot of, like, big city greens and, like, amphibious stuff in there. We see, like, Sprig and then the kid, Cricket's best friend from Amphibia. You know, we see it there. I'll probably post it to the TikToks or whatnot. And the little rascal Palisman, the bird with the scar, he goes to Hunter, he finds him, and he becomes his Palistrom. That was beautiful. What a way to end. Wow, this was such a great episode. We got so many things. I don't even know where to continue. But yeah. So today is Friday. I'm going to post all these videos today. And get ready for another episode of the Owl House tomorrow. And I will bring you episode videos earlier. So yeah, man, this was something. I already loved it. This has only been 6 episodes. And we have, like, what? I don't know if this season is shorter. Even if it's 12, we're just halfway there. But if it's another, like, 22, 23, like last season, bro. So, yeah. So, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. It's, yeah. I'm AI, the animated intellectual. And I'll see y'all in a little bit. See y'all tomorrow. AI out.